Well, I got to put out this video at probably risk to myself, probably from a couple different ways. Well, first off, I'm a diehard Republican, man. I never voted for a Democrat in my life. So does that mean I'm a bad guy? I don't know. But, Rick Scott, he's a Republican, right? Did I vote for him last time? Probably, because I probably just checked off the block Republican. Obviously, it's become noted to my attention, this guy is bad news. Now, first off, I'm going to kind of highlight a little bit. I'm just going to go over some. There's so much on this guy. I don't even know where to begin. It's ridiculous. I put out a quick video on him just recently about from Wikipedia and the Columbia HCA over $1 billion scandal, largest fraud in history in the United States. While he was CEO of it, the company gets charged with 14 felonies which stick. He's the CEO. Nothing happens to him. He gets over almost a $10 million retirement package after he's forced to resign, and $350 million worth of equities in the company. And then he runs for this governor in the state of Florida. And I'm thinking, why? You never lived here, yo-yo. I mean, what's your problem? It is because medical. What the hell else is new? So the new thing is, well, first off, we got this. I'm kind of sick of this because I think of Rick Scott as like white trash. He's kind of ruining. This is a real Floridian right here. Confederate flag bikini with a beer in her hand and stuff. I mean, this is true middle class Florida right here. We do not need these kind of politicians coming in here ruining our state like Rick Scott is ruining his state. Now he's got a connection between a company that's spraying for the Zika virus, from mosquitoes and stuff. And I don't know what the hell these sprays are doing. They're probably killing half the plants and taking years off the lives of old people, for crying out loud. I don't know what's going on with this stuff. I don't really like a lot of these things they do against nature. And I'm not even an anti-business, anti-oil guy. Like I said, I'm a lifelong Republican, but I draw the line when you get into the Bush Romney camp, and I guess that's the Rick Scott camp too. It's pretty much bad news. So I'm gonna point to a couple links where I got some of this information from because I've been started hearing stuff, and I says, wow, just seeing his Wikipedia background, yeah, you would figure the rest of it's all true too. So his wife is Ann Scott, right? And I'll tell you where I got this information from. It's legit. She's got the largest stake in MCS via Scott Capital, right? An investment firm that Rick Scott owns. $291 million in client assets. The firm manages several private equity funds, and they basically are dealing with. They got the contracts for spraying for the Zika virus. In other words, Scott Capital Post got all 9 listed companies are current and former investments of the governor and Mrs. Scott, including mosquito control services. So when he has his state appropriate tens of millions of dollars to spray for the Zika virus, which I suspect is 100% curable because I don't even know if it's a big risk to people. That's another thing. And you know what? I could put this guy out of business all the way. There's enough I think I know about medical, not just natural, but also some of the higher tech stuff with frequencies. They could put this guy completely out of business. These people, see, what really got me focused in on Rick Scott is this. I can't stand the medical for profit. I love health. I love real doctors, ones who are into real healing. I can't stand drug dealers. And probably the most heinous drug dealers, I think, are the psychiatrists. But then, on the other hand, I think like a field like positive psychology, where you're trying to have the best attitudes, the brightest outlook on life, improve your, your resistance to anxiety or whatever that life's problems that could possibly hit you. Yeah, I think that's a really great thing. It's like I'm very, very, very pro health, but I'm very, very anti-profit drug dealer health type people, if you want to put it that way. And Rick Scott is basically the drug dealer type health people. It's like in all his garbage I can't stand, man. It's like, oh God. Um, but yeah, he's involved in the bug spraying for mosquitoes because he's got a financial interest in it. Now, there's a load of stuff in on this guy. It's like, he's wrecking our country here. Florida. The real freedom lovers over here are the ones that bear arms and stuff like that. He's really wrecking our country over here. It's like we need to throw this guy the hell out of the gut. You know what's going to happen? It's going to happen. We're going to probably wind up having a Democrat. But I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't vote for a Democrat either. I'm getting disgusted with all these politicians. And for you Christians out there that think abortion is always a bad thing, I could think of one area where abortion should be a good thing. If you could predict who would grow up to be a politician, that baby should be aborted, like Hillary Clinton. If she was aborted day one, I'd be like, she's all for abortion. I'd be fine with that. Come on. I'm kind of kidding here, but for crying out loud, ugh, these politicians are the most evil people going, and it seems like the worst scum on this earth get to the top. Um, so this is another thing. When Rick Scott took office in 2011, so he won the election in November 2010, right? He transferred millions of dollars in assets to his wife, Ann. You know why? Because there's like a problem if you're governor. You can't be investing in these things. Like, in other words, you got to be a separation of functions. Florida ethics laws generally prohibit public officials from having an ownership in companies that do business with the state or are subject to state regulation. That's okay. I'll just transfer it to my wife. So Mrs. Scott reported she's got a $62 million investment in a walk-in clinic, Solantic, and then she supposedly sold it the same year because of conflict of interest. But then who did she sell it to? Maybe the article doesn't go into it, but you know what I mean. It gets me when people think the mafia is the bad guys. I'll tell you right now, you know what it came about, why the mafia came about? It was people like Rick Scott. I'm telling you right now. And one good thing that's probably going to save Florida is a lot of people from the Northeast are coming down here, the Italian group, and they're probably freaking sick of this yo-yo. I mean, they're not getting wind of what's going on because maybe they're just playing golf or watching the water out there in the ocean, but they need to freaking get their antenna hooked in and see what's going on in the political structure here in Florida and fix it. In 2013, Scott had an undisclosed ownership stake in Spectra Energy. Now, this is another thing. This was the natural gas pipeline that's going through one of the areas of the biggest, most productive aquifers in, the entire world. The aquifer that goes through most of Florida. Now, what happened here recently with the gas pipeline that was just a gasoline pipeline where it broke and it affected gasoline supplies to like 6 states in the southeast, not including Florida, but it was like Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, I think Louisiana, whatever. It broke, right? No matter what they tell you about this stuff with these pipelines, oh, it's safe, it's going through. If it breaks, it has a problem sometime in the future. It wrecks the entire environment. Now, this is another thing that burns the hell out of me. You say, okay, fine, we got to have natural gas, we got to have this and everything, fine. Now, how come Florida can't grow industrial hemp? I'm not talking about the stuff people smoke and get high off of. I'm talking about industrial hemp, the stuff that grows like in 3 months to about 12 feet height. You could do 3 crops a year. Doesn't deplete the soil. Doesn't hardly need any pesticides or herbicides at all. Doesn't need any, really. You can grow all the fuel you want because you can get fuel from hemp. You can get building materials from hemp that can improve the consistency of building blocks and concrete for home construction. Why can't you do that? Why? Because they're not going to make money off it. Because what would happen then if everybody grew hemp? You'd have a whole bunch of independent farmers in the state of Florida, like it used to be. And what would happen then? Everybody would have money, and the money would be divided up amongst the people that work the hardest, instead of being just a corporate racket. Because with oil and natural gas, you're going to have hundreds of billions of dollars just to freaking get started on it. Whereas if it's hemp, industrial hemp, you just anybody can grow it. What the hell's the problem? That's why they don't want you to have it. You see, it's not just Rick Scott; it's the Rockefellers. It's all of them, man. They're all screwed up. So Scott has a 712,000 stake in Energy Transfer and its affiliates and subsidiaries. So he's got a big stake in his Florida gas transmission pipeline that delivers nearly 65% of the natural gas consumed in Florida. Now, what the hell? What do you think's going on here? Why did this guy become governor here? Why did he spend $75 million of his own money to become governor in a state that is, heavily uses a lot of medical because it's loaded with grandpas and and it's retirees left and right? Man, I don't know, man. This is like ridiculous. But it's interesting in a way because I never knew this. I never knew this stuff about this guy. Thought, hey, Rick Scott's the governor. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. I didn't know. And then I'm like thinking this guy's like the worst guy in the world. Because, like I said, a pet peeve on mine is true health care. I'm very, very pro true health care. I can't stand these overcharging money fraudulent healthcare bastards. It seems like Rick Scott's one of the worst ones going, man. It's a fact, though. It's not like I'm accusing him of something they didn't do. Hey, he was the CEO of the freaking biggest freaking Medicaid fraud going ever in all-time history. The biggest fraud of history in all time. Got charged way over $1 billion in fines and stuff. So in 2012, Scott owned $210,000 stake in a private equity firm that owned 21st Century Oncology. Yeah, this isn't a racket. Cancer's curable. Sorry. But if you don't want to believe that, fine. Because, if I tell you something that I know and you don't want to do it, I don't give a shit what you do. Do what you want. I don't care. I don't care. I know what I'm going to do. I mean, they told me, we want to check you for cancer. Get away from me. That's what I tell them. Get away from me, you freaking creeps. That year, the all-Republican governing body of tax-supported Broward, and it's not Republicans, because there were Democrats, they do the same thing. They're all crooks. It's the fact that they're politicians. That's what means. That alone means they're crooks. You're playing one against the other. Meet the new boss versus the same as the old boss. Taxpayer-supported Broward Health awarded the company an unprecedented 25-year no-bid contract to supply radiation oncology services. Radiation oncology, the worst kind. So the governors appointed all the Broward Health Care Board members. So he had a stake in the equity firm. They got awarded by the Broward County Health. He appointed all the board members. What do you think went on there? So what do we do for a governor? I don't know. Tell you the truth, we need a governor that doesn't know what's going on, like this chick right here. She's smoking her bong pike or whatever this is, probably full of North Carolina Marlboro tobacco, for all I know. She doesn't realize anything that's going on. Actually, you know what? If we're going to have I know there's a few people left that just want to have a woman in charge of the governorship or the country or whatever, the governorship, the state, or being a governor or whatever. I'll tell you one thing. I got no problem with that. You know what? As long as she's not smart and she stays the hell out of everybody's affairs. I don't care if she just gets paid. This is what I'm looking at it with these governors. The less they do, the less they know, the better off you are. Because the government that governs least is the best government. These ambitious crooks. I mean, I don't know what the hell to put it. I mean, this guy's actually a crook, man. He's a Richard Nixon on steroids. Governor Scott, man. This guy's bad news, man. He's bad news. Should I say this? No, I shouldn't say this. But this guy's bad news. And I'm going to put another video out on this guy because this is another thing that burns me up. Because the prison system in Florida has been noted for rapes of female prisoners. And it's heinous. It's like a lot of crap going on. It's like, if I was governor of this state, number one, if I was governor, I'm not going to be governor, but number one, I release every single prisoner that got busted on some minor weed charge. Forget it. You're done. You're out of there. Forget it. Non-violent crimes, you're all out of there. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn what it is. You bounce the check, you're out of there. You're not going to jail. Forget it. You're done. I don't give a shit. It's a waste of freaking money. how are you rehabilitating people by just locking them away? You're actually making them worse. Um, Number two, the people that are actually in there, I try to rehabilitate them. Um, and maybe it might be just through learning how to farming for their own good. Give them, the fruits of their labor too, organic food. Um, Keep their health up. Teach them things. Teach them good things. There's none of this type of incentive out there at all, and it's like what's burning me up is that um, here it's almost like you got an oligarch on the top, and the masses are scum. Honestly, you know what? By statistics, even FBI statistics, 1 out of 10 people in prison in the United States are in there with no crime at all, totally innocent. It may actually be 1 out of 5, but that's even what the FBI admits. About 1 out of 10. If you're in charge of a situation, I mean, they got the biggest women's prison. Now, I'm not really like, pro woman here per se. Maybe you might have noticed that, but I'm pro fair and square all the way across the board. But they got the biggest women's prison here in Florida. It's the biggest women's prison in the entire country, right here in Florida. No air conditioning, sexual abuse left and right under his guise. This guy's worried about people's health? No, he's making money off people's freaking health. Problems, that is. So, I'm putting this out. I don't give a damn. I mean, I'll point to the links in the articles. You can read them more in detail. But I consider Rick Scott white trash, and he's infecting the real Floridians, like over here, Rebel Girl in the bikini with beer and stuff like that. It's like, we don't need this guy. We don't need this guy. We just need, honestly, okay, first off, my background, I'm not, maybe I'm talking not educated here. I actually am educated. I have a degree in accounting and major, besides a major in accounting, a major in mathematics. But the other thing is, I can tell you that I have a long history of working in some of the most aggressive entrepreneurs, even in the state of Florida. But I've kept my nose to the grindstone, and I really never really bothered looking into the political situation that goes here in the state of Florida. Now, it's just like all of a sudden the light bulb went on. I never saw anything about Rick Scott that caught my attention other than he's the governor and he's a Republican. He's bad news. He's bad news. He's right on par with Tricky Dick Nixon. He's right on par with the Bush family, Mitt Romney. He's the wrong kind of Republican. He's a Rockefeller type. That's not to say that if a Democrat gets in there, it's going to be fixed. Actually, we just need to get rid of all these yo-yos. We need to get rid of big oil. We need to get rid of that stupid natural gas pipeline. We need to actually grow industrial hemp. And we probably need to grow the other type of hemp, too, the marijuana crap over here for, medicinal purposes, which would be the marijuana oil. Now, I don't ever smoke that stuff. I never done any of that stuff. I don't even drink. I don't drink any beer. I don't drink any wine. I'm like pure squeaky clean to the max, but I'd advocate to get that stuff legalized in the state of Florida. And actually, these people that have administered drugs, like psychiatrists and stuff like that, I'd throw the book at them because those are the real big drug dealers in the state of Florida. If actually people know about that, because old girl here could probably get hammered for being substance abuse, and like over here, but substance abuse, and they'll drag her in and screw her up on more crap. And it's a big racket. It's a big racket. Medical is probably one of the biggest rackets going, but it's more of a racket in the state of Florida, and it looks like our governor is way into this. That's what it's all about. But it's not just that. It's about spraying for the mosquitoes. It's about the natural gas pipeline. It's like, holy shit, man. This guy's bad news. And, when you have one like that and he's on the top, everybody else around him is screwed up. I mean, anybody he appoints is a piece of garbage, pretty much. You got to figure that. I mean, you saw the Broward, whatever, appointees that approved his company's bid, whatever it was, for oncology, whatever it was. That's another racket, too. Cancer is curable, for crying out loud. Don't take my word for it. Don't do. You know what? I mean, I've got videos on that stuff. On we also, it's not my research, but I saw where the old frequency technology from the 30s has been revived. That cures cancer, and people want to say it doesn't work. Fine, don't use it. It doesn't cost much money, but do whatever you want. I know what bets I'll be taking. It sure as hell is not going to be with any of their freaking crap that's being sold over here in Florida. Um, it's we got actually the most healthy state possible if you took out all the medical, because we got clean air, because the air is being blown off the Gulf. It's not there's no big industries here. It's coming off the ocean. We got clean water, as long as the freaking gas pipeline doesn't leak. Um, and we got plenty of sunshine, which is very, very helpful for anybody for a number of reasons. And we also have a fantastic growing season. And then we got guys like this coming in here with all their meds and their investments on their meds and spraying for bugs and putting in natural gas pipelines. And if it looks bad that he's got a conflict of interest between the governor, his office as the governor, and interest in a private firm, well, he just transfers that over to his wife. God. I don't like this guy, man. I shouldn't put this out because it's not smart for me to put this out. But I'm on the side of the old redneck, the old and young redneck people of Florida, and you can tell I'm not actually from, born and bred here, but I've been down here long enough, and I got Confederate heritage. I didn't know it. I got that. I mean, I'm a member of the Sons of Confederacy. Been a proud member of the Sons of Confederacy, but I can tell you that it's, and that's not a racist thing, man. I can tell you it's a rebel thing. It's like we got to rebel against all this crap, and I'm talking we got to go back to the old ways. The old ways was Florida was about growing oranges and citrus fruits and greenery. We don't need this stupid stuff with wrecking our lands with golf courses and subdivisions and all this garbage. I mean, come on. If we're going to actually even have some alcohol and whatever, we can make our own moonshine stills and stuff and create our own for personal use or whatever the hell it is. I mean, come on. And medicinal purposes. We don't need to be getting in on the bandwagon with this draconian for-profit medical scams that we got going on in the state, which looks like the governor's the head lead. The lead, he's he's a crook. I don't know what the hell to say. I mean, he's been proven a crook. It's on Wikipedia, left and right, and stuff that's going on in this state, left and right, since 2011. This guy's got elected. That's a long time. I need to freaking look at with the background of these guys, but the problem is, it's like all of them are screwed up. All these politicians are screwed up. And the bright point of this is, actually, for Christian, the tribulation is probably coming up on us pretty soon. These people, with all their money and all their investments and the financial system that's structured throughout the country, it's probably coming into a major halt and crash. It doesn't take much to bring things down. A lot of people don't realize how fragile things are. And, it doesn't matter. It's the governors, it's the county commissioners, it's the judges, the attorneys, even the police are involved in a lot of this shit. I mean, they're the lower crooks down at the bottom of the totem pole, but even, a lot of people in the state realize there's a lot of stuff going on even with the police. So, what can I tell you, man? Yeah, I mean, old girl here is smoking her tobacco over here, but, it's like, the biggest drug dealers right now are in the medical industry. Oh, especially the psychiatric industry. Oh, God. Don't ever tell anybody, if you're a veteran and you're coming back from Afghanistan, you say, yeah, I saw some horrible things. Don't ever tell them that shit, because what they'll do is they'll whack you out on drugs or some crap like that. But they're all legal because somebody's making a lot of money off them, right? Like somebody like Rick Scott. He's not the only one involved, but they're all screwed up. I mean, I'm sick of this garbage, man, because this is one of the biggest pet peeves I got going. I can't stand medical for profit. I love health. I love having, trying to find the best, cheapest, most efficient ways through nature and maybe sometimes high technology with rife technology that can improve our health. But when it comes down to like drugs for profit, oh God, forget it. I know sometimes there's a need for them. Sometimes there is. But largely speaking, no, it's not. It's a racket. It's a racket. And it just enriches a few people. Our state in Florida has probably the potential, it does have the potential to be the healthiest state in the entire country. But maybe the exception of California. I don't know. But, it does. Plenty of, actually, we probably do, but more so than California because we got the aquifer and California's got the drought. But yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, I mean, we need to go back to nature and throw out these politicians. We need to really dismantle the government a lot. And you know what? If you don't like the situation, roll up your sleeves and grow your own food and fish. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You got people out there with their looking for fish violations for people that fish on their own and stuff. I mean, it's becoming a big racket over here. You know, your fish took one too many, or your fish was too small, or I don't know, whatever. They're always coming up with all these rules. Meantime, the biggest crooks on the planet, they get to run the state, right? Is that how that works? And all the appointees of these crooks, they all get to run the state. All the people that, walking around here, hey, you got an open container. That's illegal. Well, we're going by Confederate rules. And you know what? The hell with these damn Yankees coming down here. Now, maybe I could be considered a Yankee, but I do have Confederate roots to the max. I mean, there's loads of people. My family fought for the Confederacy. So we got to stick back with the old school rules and get rid of the crooked bums that are coming down here in Florida and wrecking this place, man, because I'm telling you, man, it's the Zika virus, the natural gas pipeline, it's the oncology center, it's transferring things over to my wife so it looks like I don't have any financial interest in conflict of interest as governor. Yeah. Oh wait, all right, over and out. Said enough. But just to alert you, Floridians, because I wasn't aware of this stuff, and I'm going to point to some links on the bottom of this video of the Wikipedia articles. You can look at them if you want to look at some tame, lame down, dumbed down stuff that's just scratching the surface about our current governor. And he's pretty dirty with a lot of stuff. No way. And what we know, obviously, is not even a tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more than that. There should never be. I swear to God, I don't think anybody should be elected that has a net worth of over $500,000. Maybe that would be a great rule right there. But then they find a way around that too. Who knows? Anyway, over and out. I think I said enough.